Mm-hmm.
Oh, there we go. Hey, aloha, everybody. Welcome. We're running a couple of minutes behind here, but welcome to the Friday Aloha Marketing Jam session. Man, I'm having issues with my mouse here. Welcome, everybody. Super excited you're here. Just getting a few little technical things sorted out.
Do we have any tech support on the call with us that can help Tom out?
Can I get some tech support, please? Anybody in tech support listening? I think I got it figured out. So we're good. Hey, aloha, Zach.
Hey, Zach.
How's it going, man? Welcome. Everybody you should be seeing us and hearing us now, I hope. Pop in there, an aloha, a hello. I see people coming on. That is awesome. Sweet. Man, it has been a busy week here at Shark HQ. Let me tell you.
It has been. What do we got lined up today?
The past 2 weeks, and I don't think it's going to get any easier. Hey, Dave. Aloha, man. Nick was making fun of me. I found this awesome shirt. I don't know if you guys can see the sharks on there. And I was like, oh, I got to get this shark. So now he's making fun of me because he says I'm wearing a pink shirt. But I told him it's not pink. It's
you guys put a 1 in the comments if you think that's pink. Put a 2 in the comments if you think it's not pink.
Oh, you're gonna get crushed. It's not pink. It is not pink.
But
Aloha,
also put 3 if you just think it looks good. You think it looks good. I mean, it looks good.
Man, Nick's been all over me lately. When he showed up to the office this morning, I was outside with my backpack on with my laptop in it. And he's like, dude, you look like a kid waiting for your mom to pick you up. Like I got my little backpack on.
You guys, I almost took a picture. You would have loved it. He had his backpack on. He was sitting there on his phone. He looked like he was waiting to get picked up by the bus to go to school. And it's a little backpack too. It's like you know, the normal backpack, right? And then like the little backpack. It's one of those.
Yeah, cute. I like that. I like that laptop holder. It's not a backpack. It's a high-tech laptop transporting device, Nick.
All right, enough of this. What do we got lined up today? We got some special stuff to talk about. So
we have a ton of stuff. We got a great content. We got special guests. We got tons of things. I think what we should do is cue the intro, and we will pick this conversation back up in just a few moments.
Are you ready for the fastest 60 minutes of local marketing strategy, tactics, tips, and fun on planet Earth? It's now time. The moment you've been waiting for. After 167 agonizing hours, they've returned. Broadcasting live from their island retreats, smack dab in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, and now back for a brand new Sharks Live show. It's your hosts, the Offline Sharks, Tom Gaddis and Nick Ponte.
Woo! I mean, you know what I'm really missing is the applause. I'm missing the applause, like we used to be able to do the applause. I gotta get some applause sound effects on here. But man, we're excited to be here. Like we were saying, it has been by the way, I don't know if you looked in the comments, Nick, but you got torched. Nobody said it was pink. I didn't get one pink in there. Orange, fuchsia, peach, salmon.
Orangish pink. I see how you guys are.
I don't even see one pink in there. Wow.
Yeah, you're right.
Yep.
You're right. I got annihilated.
Yeah. Bryce wants to know if you played football. He saw you.
Not really. I like watching it though. Hawaii's not like I don't know, Bryce. I mean, clearly our football team sucks, right? And we're not really I don't know. We're just not that kind of state. We don't have good baseball team. Well, we have good minor league baseball teams. But anyway, we do a lot of beach sports, ocean sports, board sports. So I do, I surf, snowboard, those types of things.
Yeah, well, the Hawaii football team the past 2 years has done pretty good. They beat some pretty big opponents.
Please.
They better than they normally do. Let's put it that way.
No, they were good one time 12, 15 years ago.
They had a good season 2 seasons ago. So it's definitely egg ball.
But this is
totally different to her. It drives her nuts when we talk about football being in England because she's like, that's not football.
Yeah. This is a thinking device, Bryce. When I got this, I'm thinking about stuff.
Yeah, well, it's interesting that you bring that up, Nick, because I was thinking about adding a section to the live of I don't know, where'd you go? Just walked away. Thinking about adding a section of life tips from Tom just some little things, that I come across in my daily life. Cause like, as you guys know, cause I won't stop talking about it. I had my wisdom teeth taken out a couple of weeks ago. And so the dentist, right? She's like, I took them out because they're really hard to clean. They're far back there. So she has like been all over me about flossing, right? Like getting the floss together. And I noticed something super annoying, but I have a solution that I think is good for entrepreneurs. I don't know if anybody on here floss. Do you guys floss?
Wait. I know what's happening. Are you teeing up a magic trick right now?
You should be flossing, but it's like super annoying because you always get this one little piece. I don't know if you guys can see that. You always get this one little piece that you can't use at the end of every floss container, right? And as an entrepreneur, I'm always looking for ways to save a few bucks, right? Keep the cash flow good. So what I do is I save all these little pieces. Now, I didn't bring the jar with me, so I'm just gonna, here, hold on, sorry. I'm just gonna tear some off for you. Hard to see it in here in the light. We'll just tear a few off. So you just save these last little pieces, right, that you can't use. Hold on.
Hold it up in the camera, man. You're doing some sneaky shit down there.
No. Things are falling apart. I dropped the floss thing. Sorry. So let's see. That should be enough. I think I can show you with this. So what I like to do, right, is you just, you take the little pieces, right? You save one. Then you just roll the others together, right? So you just roll these together like this. Because they're wax, right? They stick pretty well. So you just get a little ball. I don't know if you guys can see this here. I'm trying to do this as good as I can in the camera. So you get this little ball, right? Right?
Put your hands a little closer to the camera.
Okay, you get this little ball, right?
There we go. Yep.
And you can just squeeze it on there because it's wax, right? It'll stay on there. Then you just heat it up like that. And then, see, look, the pieces, they just go right back together. That way, see, you've got a whole piece you can use. See, you can use this piece now. You can you pop right away. So just a little life tip from Tom for you guys, so you can use it.
I don't know, man. That was.
I won't do that right here on the live. I won't.
No way. You guys give Tom some love in the comments. I love when he does the magic tricks.
Yeah, awesome.
Jedi floss
trick. Yeah. Well, listen, I don't want to. Let's not take up any more time, Nick. Let's get into our regularly scheduled programming so we can get our guests on here, because I'm excited to get them out and get them talking. Yeah, let's. Somebody said I wouldn't use it though. Yeah, all right, we won't use it. So we do need to do our shark shout outs, and I'm going to share my screen here because we have had some great shark shout outs this week. And one thing I want to point out to you guys is inside the Facebook group now. See my screen here? We made this post today. It's our shout out post. And here's what I want you guys to do. I want you to go to this post right now, and I want you to tag these people that we shout out. Put some comments in there. Blow this post up for them. Give them some love. I'm going to go through what they are, and then there may or may not be some prizes associated with this activity of posting on the comments. Right, Nick?
Yeah, absolutely. We did this last week, and we're going to do it again this week because I think it's just a good way to give back. Shout out on that post, comment, like it, and then what we're going to do is we're going to pick a winner or two, and somebody that's commented below at random, and just give you some Cash App money just right off the bat. So all you have to do is go there and show those sharks some love.
Yeah, and let's talk about who we're shouting out today. Our first shout out goes to Mr. Lonnie Welch. Lonnie closed a website deal for $750 and $250 recurring. That is an awesome job, Lonnie. That is an awesome job. We've got a shout out to Jay Dunbar. Jay secured a client at $1,000 for business text marketing services. Great job, Jay. Great job. And then we got two shout outs for our boy, Tony Edward. Tony he's just been killing it lately. He made $295 and $297 recurring, and he sent an agreement form to an attorney for $500 recurring, all because of a Facebook group. He got that client and all that revenue from a Facebook group. And then he landed another client this morning at 1:52 a.m. for $297. So taking action, kicking butt, taking names, man. Way to go. Huge props to all the sharks on there for the shout outs. Great job.
Nicely done. Have you guys seen that little interview that I did with Tony? Put a 1 in the chat if you guys saw that interview that I did with Tony. I think it was last week, but I just posted in the Facebook group yesterday where we talked a little bit about what he's doing to bring in this revenue. Okay, cool. Yep. A bunch of you have, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that in a little bit here. So,
yeah, that was a really awesome interview, by the way. All right, so congratulations to all the sharks with the shout outs. One thing I want to point out too, like if you guys watch this show every week, if you show up here every week and you see these shout outs, you'll notice we have sharks doing all kinds of different services, right? Which is a good indication that it's not so much about the services you're offering. It's about getting out there, being a part of the community, connecting with people, building those relationships, which, by the way, we have a lot of stuff in Sharks that shows you how to do that. A lot of information in the Facebook group, on the blog, all those things. So make sure you check that stuff out as well. And congratulations again to all the sharks with the shout outs. I'm going to stop sharing my screen here. Oh, sorry, trying to bring it back. All right, awesome. Let's see, Nick, what do we want? Well, we're about 15 minutes in. Should we do a little Cash App giveaway?
Let's let the audience tell us. What do you guys think? Let us know. Maybe while we see some of the comments come in, whether or not we should do that, or maybe we should do something else. And we could go over what you're reading real quick.
Yeah. I can do the What's Tom reading. I love this section. I've been reading a lot of stuff lately, and the book today actually kind of ties in what we've sort of been talking about with all week and what I just mentioned, being a part of the community, building relationships, playing the long game in business, right? And you can, by the way, find all the books that I recommend. You can go to offlinesharks.com/books. You'll see all the books we recommend each week on the live show. But the book today is a book I had never heard of. Salmon color. See, no pink. It's a book I had actually never heard of, but apparently it's a classic. Hey, El, good to see you. Elvis went by waving. That was nice. The book is by Bob Berg and John David Mann, and I'm actually giving this book to someone in our office to read directly after this live show. It's been sitting here on the shelf waiting for him. But the book is called The Go Giver. And I don't know if anybody has read this book. It was a really quick read. It's written like a story, right? It's written like a story, but it's called The Go Giver, a little story about a powerful business idea. And it's really about shifting your focus to bringing value, right? That's really what it's about. And, it's interesting. I was talking to somebody about this, Nick, and it's like, it took me a little while to really kind of truly grasp this concept because, in the beginning of my agency, I had, I wanted to make money. So my goal was I'm going to call these people and I want to get them to buy this, this service I'm selling, this $500 thing I'm selling. That's what I was thinking about, selling them, selling. I wasn't really truly focused on bringing them value, right? I mean, I knew what I was going to offer would bring them value, but like my real motivation was selling and making the money. And this book is really just about shifting your thinking so that you're more focused on the bringing value part, the giving part first, and then all the other stuff follows. And I mean, I discovered pretty quickly that just trying to go out and sell people is really, really hard. But if I go into those probable prospect meetings and talking to people at events or wherever I talk to them, if I go into those conversations thinking instead like, hey, is there some value I can bring them? It really shifts the way I feel and the whole feel and sound of the conversation, because now I'm doing things like asking them questions about them, asking what they're doing, what they're trying to do. Like I'm genuinely interested in what they're trying to accomplish because I want to see if there's a way I can help them get those things versus just thinking, hey, I want to talk to you because I'm trying to sell you this thing. Does that make sense? To me, it's a real subtle difference But I'm surprised it took me so long to get it. But this book is definitely it's a good start in that direction.
It is a real subtle difference, that is a super powerful and important topic. What do you guys think? Do you right now approach your sales, whether you're doing, social media or websites or are you focused on, and I also did this for a long time, as Tom mentioned, because when you need to make money, which is why a lot of us kind of get into this, you don't really get into building this type of business because it's a hobby. I mean, some people do, but the majority of people get into it because they need to generate some extra cash flow. And for me and everybody else like that, you focus on that. You focus on what you're going to be selling somebody, the website. But I've noticed, and I know Tom's noticed this too, that the best way to sell any of these marketing services, and this is the subtle difference when you're talking about it, is you talk about the value or the problem that is solved for the customer. An example of that is, let's take a website, for example. If you're speaking to somebody and you're trying to sell them a website and you're doing it the old school way, which is what we're normally doing when we first get into this, you're worried about selling a $500 website and you just keep talking about how they're going to get a website for $500. But if you're talking about providing value for somebody, the way that you shift what you're saying is that you're giving them a place for people to go to purchase their product than just website. You're giving them a vehicle to sell more products or bring more money into their business because they don't have one right now. So if you sell that rather than the website, you provide value rather than just selling the website. It's the same thing, but it's a little subtle shift in your wording, your thinking, and your delivery.
Yeah, and it's a little subtle shift, but it makes a big difference. And a lot about what we've been talking about this week with the Facebook groups and stuff. That's what that's about, right? Being a part of the community, going into those, either creating a group yourself or being a part of a group where your focus should be bringing value, not just going in there to sell your stuff, right? The selling your stuff will happen if you're bringing value and a valuable member of the group, right? And I see that all the time in our Facebook group too, right? Dorn is a great example. Dorn comes in and he's always bringing value, talking about what he's doing, but he's never in there trying to get people to hire him or anything like that, right? And because of that, because he brought value to the group, we've brought him on to do a few things for us because he's such a valuable asset to the group, right? And that's how you want people to see you as well. And there's lots of other people like that in our Facebook group. So that's really the right way to do it, right? You don't ever see them in there dropping links and promoting that. You just don't do that That stuff will come if you just focus on that first. Dor says this, hire. Oh, I was trying to show that. It says, hire me, I can do it.
That's funny.
That's awesome. What did people say about the Cash App money?
We got a little bit of fact, not enough, you guys. I want to do the Cash App giveaway. Usually we do it a couple of times, and the stream. Give me some likes right now. We'll get some.
Maybe
we'll get
this will get them fired up.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money, money.
Dollar, dollar. Dollar, dollar. Ching, bling, bling. Got the chatter. You ain't talking money, then you're talking no matter.
You guys say that get you fired? That gets me fired up when I hear it. That gets me fired up.
Oh man, I didn't even know that song was that good. They got all kinds of lyrics to go with it. Cha-ching, cha-ching, bling, bling.
Get the cheddar. I like to get the cheddar part.
Cheddar.
Yeah, get the cheddar. Awesome. Well, I know people are coming in, and I don't want to wait too much longer because we have our guests.
Yeah, let's do it. Okay, you guys. So we're gonna do some Cash App giveaway. We pretty much always do this beginning, middle, towards the end of the call. So stick with us. We're probably gonna do it again. The way it works is I'm going to ask a question, and the first person to get the answer correct in the comments below. Sometimes we ask you to do something maybe on a post, something like that. We are going to pick you and give you some Cash App money. So are you guys ready?
They are ready. Right. I look at all those comments in there.
So here is our first question. It's a really good question. So, what is the meaning of the acronym MILK in the milk it method that Tom often speaks about?
Oh,
Good
you
question.
know, it's interesting because I haven't talked a lot about that in Offline Sharks, but I talk about it a lot over at tomgaddis.com.
Yeah, if you guys aren't on Tom's podcast and not subscribed, you guys should do it. You just go to tomgaddis.com. You can be a regular subscriber to his podcast, which is really awesome.
Oh, that's a good one. Let's see.
It's a good question.
That is a good question.
I think people are probably doing some research right now.
Wait. I do know the answer. Never mind. I do know the answer.
What do you mean you don't know the answer?
Somebody said
You
pink.
invented it.
I know. Let's see. Oh, nobody can remember.
There's a little delay on the comments today, for sure.
Yeah.
I've noticed that.
Yeah. Well, we will. Yeah, they are coming through.
Look at
That's a good guess, Paul. It's a good guess. It's just milk. There's an M, an I, an L, and a K.
Yep. So here, I don't know if I saw just a big jump of people come in. So I'm going to repeat the question real quick for everybody. So the Cash App question, first one today is, what is the meaning of the acronym MILK in the Milk It method that Tom often talks about? And, we were thinking about writing a book on this. It's a good one.
Yep. Well, that's the plan. The plan was to write a book. And then when everything happened with the pandemic, I was like, man, I need to get this info out. So, somebody got the K.
The K stands for ka-ching. That's right.
Yeah, somebody got the K. Now we need the M, the I, and the L. They said, nice, catchy.
Man, we might have to circle back around to this, Tom.
Oh, this was a good one. Like, people are scrambling now.
Oh, the Meg.
I think Dorn got it. Oh, I keep trying to click them when you're clicking them. Hold on, let me do it there. There you go.
It does your marketing good.
Yeah. Dorn is right. It stands for Market, Idea, Launch, and Ka-ching. Yeah, Market, Idea, Launch, and Ka-ching. And I actually have a free e-guide over at tomgaddis.com that goes into some detail on these. But I used this strategy. I used this blueprint to start the mailer and also my first product launch. And we use it in Offline Sharks all the time. So it's super, super powerful. We do use it. Yeah.
We use it all the time. We're about to use it again.
We are about to use it again. Yep. And it's a really powerful idea. And when you understand it, like, you're never stuck to know what to do next, because there's always a next step. Always a next step.
That brings up a really good question that I want to ask everybody too, because we never talk about this ever. We basically never, ever talk about this. You guys, we always talk about building awesome, powerful businesses and getting clients and doing what we do here. But Tom and I never talk about building a business like Offline Sharks. An online business, right? Like a real tradition, like an online setup. Who's interested in that? Put a 3 in the chat if you guys are interested in that. I just want to get a kind of show of hands, because we never even ask anybody about this ever. We just, we've been building this awesome business that you're all are a part of, but we never talk about it. I'd be curious to see how many people are actually interested in it. But Dorn, thank you for playing in
Cash App winner, man. Put your tag in there.
I think we have Dorn's Cash App on speed dial.
Yeah, we should have it on. Speed dial. Awesome. All right. Well, man, we're about halfway through here. Man, time flies when you're having fun, right? Let's get our guests out here.
Yeah, let's do it. And lots of 3s. Appreciate that, guys. That's something that we're definitely going to discuss amongst ourselves later, maybe talking about further with you guys, but good to know what you guys think about that. But yeah, our guests today, you guys, who do you guys think our guests are? Who do you guys think?
There's 2 of them.
2 of them. We have 2 of them. And I guess what I want to say about them are a couple of awesome guys, right? A couple of awesome guys. I had the pleasure of meeting one of them when I went to New York about a year ago. And I will be meeting the other one soon when I do go out there in a few months. I always kind of rib him about it. And yeah, a couple awesome guys. really just taking action, making some moves in their business. And it just really caught Tom and my attention with some of the things that they've been doing to help businesses in their area. And, we've been talking about some of their strategy for the last couple of days. And, some of our members of Offline Sharks have been implementing some of these things in just a couple of days and have landed some clients, have made some progress, and, been able to take part of this non-salesy way to have a great pool of customers that are ripe for the picking for you and your business. And, I think that's what a lot of us lack oftentimes, is the ability to have pool customers that are ready to buy our products and services. Don't you think, Tom?
Yeah, I agree. And I think too, what made me so excited about, what we've been talking about this week and then having them on the live show too, is these guys really follow a strategy that we believe is the way to build a thriving, successful agency, which is, again, we've been talking about it this whole show, being a part of the community, delivering value to your backyard, to the people around you. Like, just for most, the more and more I talk to sharks that are being successful, the more and more I just understand kind of things in general, the more I realize that focusing on your own backyard and the area directly around you, especially when you're first getting started, is super, super key. Like, it makes everything so much easier. And I always thought, I needed to go big, right? Like, the only way to be big was to be national. And that's just not true. It's not true. Like, you don't even need, like, you think the same thing when you think about doing things online too. The only way to be big is to have a huge audience, to be able to appeal to everybody. And the reality is that's just not true. It's much easier and better to start small, and then you start to grow big. One of my favorite examples is Facebook, right? Like, Facebook, when that thing got off the ground, their market was maybe 3,600 people. Like, that was their entire market, because it was only the students at Harvard. That they didn't market to anybody else. They had you couldn't get on Facebook unless you were a student at Harvard. Talk about restricting your market, right? And then when they wanted to grow, they didn't just say, oh, well, let's bring it out to everybody. And they didn't even say, let's bring it out to all colleges. They went to other Ivy League colleges and rolled it out. Then they rolled it out to all colleges, and then they started rolling it out to other people. Like, that's just a perfect example of the start small to grow big kind of strategy. Now, I'm not saying people here are going to be at the next Facebook. Don't get me wrong, but you don't need to be the next Facebook. Like, there's plenty of steps in that journey where you might just sit there and go like, oh, this is all I need. Like, I don't need to get any bigger than this. So yeah, let's bring them out. That was a long intro. I got on a roll.
No, it's really important, and it's a great point that you made there, right? Starting small and growing big, and that's what Drew and Dave are here to share with us today. So welcome, guys.
Hey guys.
Hey, aloha, guys.
Hey, aloha.
Yeah, Nick, I have to apologize. I'll just have to make my appearance and connect with you here on this live. Sorry, I missed our last live meeting. But this will have to do until
we're going to need you to fly to Maui, Drew. We're going to need you to get out here. And,
all right, we'll have to do that.
And we might have asked around in Maui at some point here. We've been thinking about it when they open, when we can really open the doors again. Would you guys want to come to that?
Yes.
There at the Key. One of my favorite breakfast places in the world was the Kihei Cafe.
This is great.
Oh man. I was in Maui for my honeymoon, and we probably went there every morning for breakfast. We stayed at the Fairmont, not too far away. And man, that place, those macadamia nut pancakes that they have there are outrageous.
That's the Fairmont. I just took so for Sophie's 12th birthday party, that's where we went. The hotel, we went to the Fairmont. We didn't stay there, but they started doing a thing where you can just rent a pool pass. So basically, cool. you get a cabana from like 8 in till 5 at night, but you don't have to stay at the hotel. And they bring you like non-alcoholic drinks for the kids and all kinds of fruits and snacks. That was a nice hotel. I'd never been there before.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah,
we had a blast. So
yeah,
awesome.
We used to call that Aladdin's Palace.
Aladdin's balance.
Yeah, because it looks like it. It's got those spiral things on the top.
It does.
That was back in the day when we'd do pool hopping into the hotels as youngsters, you know.
Break the rules, Nick.
No.
I personally am shocked.
Never. Well, awesome, you guys. Thanks for coming and joining us on the show today. I guess one of the things that I kind of want to start off with a little bit is just kind of how you guys your background, how it started. How'd you guys join forces? Because Tom and I, we don't, we're obviously business partners, right? And there are a lot of people out there that they kind of say they're kind of against business partners in some sense because it can be difficult, right? It can be difficult. It can be a lot like a marriage in a lot of ways. But how'd you guys meet? How did this whole thing start? I mean, you guys have a great, awesome business. You have a great community. You got a lot going on. I'm curious for selfish reasons.
Yeah.
I twisted his arm. I literally just twisted Dave's arm and said, look, man, you are on the sucky part of Pennsylvania. I'm on the better part of Pennsylvania. Let's try to dominate Pennsylvania. See if we can get together and do something. And the long and that's the kind of the short of it. But go ahead, David. Why don't you mention?
Yeah, we have our backgrounds are totally different. I mean, Drew has been working in the healthcare field for how many years were you a hyperbaric wound nurse, Drew?
Yeah, 28 years in healthcare.
28 years.
Emergency medicine and hyperbaric medicine and all the gory stuff. And really, the brief background, I spent a lot of time in healthcare. Developed one of the first mobile apps to help diabetics track their blood glucoses and their blood sugars. And the initial success of that, we saw about 35,000 downloads in the first week of that app getting out there. And I realized my time in the clinic was over, right? I mean, I could touch a lot more lives with this technology, internet marketing and digital marketing and all the cool things that we all know, love about the internet. And I realized my time was over. So truthfully, ups and downs afterwards, I needed to learn to market the app. I needed to learn to market my business. And I just started studying some of the greats. And lo and behold, David and I hooked up as a result of a mutual acquaintance, excuse me, a good friend of ours, Dr. Ben Atkins. We ran around in that circle for a bit, and we just had a lot of commonalities, and we just kind of hit it off from there.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's an awesome story. I love what you said about you realized you could share more value with the app part, because that's actually one of the 5 go-giver principles of success in that book, right? Is that's how you really, when you're talking about building a business that can make you financially and personally independent, right? That's the way that you do it, is by being able to touch more. How can you do it? By touching more lives, by bringing more value to more people. So yeah, that's awesome.
And David has a similar not a similar background in healthcare, but David, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up working in a family-run small business. So my family wholesaled and retailed fresh seafood. We sold live lobsters and fresh fish to supermarkets and restaurants. We also had retail markets, and we had our own restaurant. So I grew up from the time I was 7 years old. The bus didn't drop me off at home; it dropped me off at work with my parents, and I washed dishes, and from the time I was 7 years old all the way through college and some time after college, I helped run that business, and that's where my marketing stuff kind of comes from. We had a very small budget, almost no marketing budget, and my parents were not tech savvy people, so it was kind of up to me to kind of figure that stuff out. We had no website at one point, and then we started building an email list, and I was kind of self-taught. Educating myself on all these different digital marketing strategies. And I got to a point in my life where I was I want to go do something different. And I kind of realized I had learned all of these skills over the years from helping my parents build that business. And I realized that I could go help other local businesses with my skills that I had learned. So that's where I kind of started. And like everybody else, you start trying to figure stuff out, you stumble, you make mistakes, you do things, but you just keep going, and little by little, you gain traction and momentum, and that's the key, is just to keep going. So that's my background.
Nice. I love it. More of a grassroots for you then, because you've been helping your family business come along for a while. And
Yeah.
And I'm sure that that's super helpful to where you guys are at now. I mean, I've seen a lot of the stuff that you guys have been doing, and obviously we had a training the other day. Who was on that training, by the way? Were any of you on this live with us? We've got almost over 100 people here on this stream with us today. Who was on that training with Drew and Dave? When was it, Tom? Was it Wednesday? Wednesday.
We did it on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The days were just blurred
days
together.
all blurred together. It was a day that ended in Y, Nick. I know it was a day that ended in Y. So one of those days.
and Anna's asking if how long that replay is going to be, or when's it going to be open till. And so I think tomorrow is the final day, right, Tom?
I believe so. Cameron,
Tomorrow.
maybe you can confirm that for
us. Tomorrow at midnight is the final day that we're going to have that replay up and available for everybody to watch. But anyway, like Dave and Drew were saying, and especially with Dave with his background, you guys you have more of a grassroots history with working with local businesses. And right now today, do you guys partner up and help businesses now with your marketing services, or do you do it separately, or how's that work?
We do a little bit of both. So we work together on various projects with Delicious Marketing, with businesses. And then we both kind of have our stuff on the side. So a little bit of both, I guess, kind of like I assume, you and Nick and Tom, you have Nick Ponte Marketing, and Tom's got his own marketing company. So you're working together, but also separate at the same time. So kind of the same sort of deal, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's good to, we have our own brands, right? We have our own client facing stuff that we work on,
right.
but like when I get a client, like Tom and I talk about it, right? We strategize. When he gets a client, they strategize. And sometimes like it's something I can take on myself. Sometimes it's something that he can take on himself. And sometimes we're just like, hey, let's take care of this together and just get it out of the way. Or maybe we do a better job by working on it together, right? Collaborating. So you guys see that a lot too with what you're doing?
Oh yeah, we bounce a lot of things off of each other, and
all the time.
There are certain types of clients that will appeal to us, and sometimes we'll bounce. I think the real cool thing about a partnership is that you do have that opportunity not to be lonely, right? And you have that opportunity to bounce things off of each other. And I'm just stuck, and and it's also a good opportunity to redirect when you might be making a mistake. Right. Mm-hmm. And gives you some ideas and some thoughts to navigate around business and to make sure that ultimately you're doing no harm to the customer and the potential client. But by the same token, you're not doing harm to your business and going down a rabbit hole that's just going to tie you up in areas that you're not either qualified or experienced in, or it's just a rabbit hole where you're just going nowhere. It becomes less profitable, or you're not going to get the results that you intended for that customer and client, as well as the ultimate testimony for your business. So that type of relationship is really, really positive for our partnership.
Yeah, I would highly agree. And it allows you to do some amazing things, and some of the things that I've seen you guys doing, and I've seen Drew doing this a lot too, is, I mean, you've been, and I don't, I'd really like for everybody to go watch the replay of the training, because that's where we had, a lot of the breakdown of what's going on. But, what you've been doing to help businesses as of late, with the different strategies, I love the spotlighting and things like that. Maybe you guys could talk about like some of the results you've been seeing with what you've been doing there.
Sure, David. Do you want to take this, or you want me to
do? Go ahead, go for it, because you've been doing a lot with the chamber in terms of the interview series. I think it's pretty awesome. Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, you should go watch the replay to just see and get that strategy that Drew lays out on there about the chamber and the interviews, because that was that's really freaking smart. And
we'll share a link towards the end of the live, you guys, where you can go check it out. But just hang out with us for a little bit right now, and we'll share it later.
Yeah, I appreciate the mention on that. It's been a game changer for us. I won't give it away, so we ask everybody to go and check out the replay. But a lot of people are very familiar with chambers and rotaries and business organizations. And the little tip is a lot of these organizations need help, right? And right now we're all faced with quarantine and shutdown and all this kind of stuff. And before the quarantine and a lot of the regulations happened to everybody, they still needed help then. And if you recognize the Chamber of Commerce as being the entity that it is, there's a lot of value there, right? And a lot of your customers and your intended market, they're already there. So you don't need to hunt for them, right? So when you partner up with the Chamber of Commerce or you connect with them in the way that you'll see inside the replay, it can be a windfall of opportunity to have those relationships, have those discussions, have essentially an uninterrupted 30 to 45 minute meeting with a countless flow of businesses, right? So if you don't like dealing with the gatekeeper, if you don't like the friction, if you don't like the ickiness of, rejection, you know what? Why don't you let everybody? I'll just kind of cue your audience. If you don't like rejection, let us know in the chat, right? If you don't like rejection, you don't like the friction, just raise your hand, acknowledge that you don't like dealing with friction. Listen, David and I, with the methods and the strategies that we kind of lay out in this replay, we don't deal with rejection anymore. Certainly there's opportunities for rejection, but we don't like to deal with it. There's no reason, there's no time, there's not enough time to deal with rejection anymore. So we just bypass it. And everything that we've laid out inside the replay in Agency List Machine and a bunch of bonuses that are inside there as well, really just helps you get past all the nonsense and get down to the nitty gritty. So as Nick just mentioned, one of the things that we do is the spotlight videos. And guess what? You're actually watching a spotlight video right now, right? This is a forum. This is a way that you can leverage and do a magnificent duty to a lot of your customers and your clients.
Yeah, it's super smart, super creative. And right now, especially where it's actually really easy because you can do it from home. You can do it from Zoom, and that's just one of the things that you guys are doing that I think is really awesome and super powerful and a great way to overcome that rejection. A lot of people, obviously, except for Dorn, who I think Dorn. I saw a post Dorn made the other day about the dark triad test. He took the dark triad test and was like 30% darker than the average person. So yeah, not surprised that you're all good with the rejection, but for the vast majority of us, it's a little more.
Yeah. Well, and another point on what you're saying about Nick, about being able to do this from home and stuff. It's not just being able to do it from home, but this forum, this thing that we're on right now is like commonplace. Like the average person understands this. They're familiar with it. It's just the way the world operates right now, right? So there's no, where before it could be really difficult to even bring people to these types of events because everything was unfamiliar to them, the technology, the how to do it all. But now it's just so many people know how to do it and are familiar with the technology. Like that's one of the benefits that's come out of all of this, right? Is it's really made this stuff mainstream, and that has benefited marketers and agency owners because now it's opened up a whole thing that people were resistant to before that they're not any longer.
I think a big part of this too is you were talking about this before you brought us on today, guys, is kind of being a part of the business community. So many of us, including myself, when I first started, I just hid behind my computer. I was looking at for every course, strategy or tactic, which would help me avoid actually having to go to talk to people, And for years, a couple of years, I just was on that track. And finally, I realized that, this was not working and I had to try something different. So those local spotlight videos that we're just talking about are a fantastic way to kind of just inject yourself into the network. There's a web of local business people in all of our communities. They're friends with each other. They refer business to each other. And really good things happen when you become a part of that web of local business people in your community. And that is also a great way to kind of just get yourself out there, start relationships and conversations with local business people. And it doesn't have to be hard or complicated. When we first started doing this, Drew, we built what we call local media asset sites. They're kind of just local Facebook pages where we build a big audience, right? 5, 10, 15,000 people. And I would simply just get my mobile phone and go out and walk into a business. I did this live in our Facebook group, actually. Was live on Facebook, walked into the business and just said, hey, I'm Dave from My Murraysville News and Events. We're out interviewing local business people to learn more about their business and get them more exposure. Would you do a quick 2-minute interview with me? And it's just 3 or 4 questions. Hey, what's your name? What's the name of your business? Where are you located? And can you tell me about 1 or 2 of the products or services that you sell? And boom. 3,000-4,000 people would watch that video, and I had a new friend, right? I had a new business owner friend who knew me now. We shook their hand. I tagged them in that video. They saw every time someone made a comment on it. It's just an incredible way to just get out and meet people, be a part of that business community in your local market.
Yeah, so true. And to Tom's point, which kind of is the same with what you're talking about, Dave, with right now with the new landscape, I guess you could say. You guys tell me if you agree with this. Put a 1 in the comments if you would agree that a year ago, when you would ask a local business owner to get on a Zoom call, you had kind of a second thought in your head, were they going to be able to make it? What would make it?
Yep.
Were they going to get on the call? Do they know what Zoom is? Is it going to actually happen? Because I did. I mean, I there was a point where I didn't really when I hired a project manager overseas, I kind of didn't want her to meet with the client because we would have to use Zoom, right? But now that is the new norm, right? So put a 2 in the chat if you would agree that the Zoom, streaming, Facebook, spotlighting we're talking about is people have been re-educated that it is the new norm to be communicating in this way. I mean, I've talked to, friends of grandparents who they're on the Zoom, they're on the Zoom and they're hosting Zoom meetings and they're doing these things where it's totally normal. And what David is talking about, going to these businesses, giving them some spotlight, lifting them up in the community. You can do all this right now in this really easy way, and everybody's familiar with it. It's super accepted. It's super. It's not as it was easy before, right? But now it's even easier, I would argue.
Yeah.
And the really cool feedback that you get and the psychology or maybe the unseen benefit from some of this is in the strategy that David was talking about. When you build out some of these communities, these groups and these pages and whatnot, and you've got 5, 10, 15, 20,000 people or more, and you put a video out in front of that audience, and all of a sudden 5, 10, 15, 20,000 people are being reached, sometimes views. The other side of the equation is, what is that doing for that business? A ton of attention is coming onto that business, and you are, the purveyor of this. You are actually making it happen. It's almost the Oprah Winfrey effect, right? Everybody wants to jump onto Oprah's show, and all of a sudden ticket sales go up and traffic to the websites go up. And, David had, you were in a Starbucks one day, and one of the businesses that you had interviewed, stopped by and tapped them on the shoulder. And, as a result of that, they made a bunch of sales, and all this attention, awareness to their new business started to come about because David lent and pointed the attention to that audience. So we talk a lot about that in some of the bonuses that we offer in the replay. But yeah, I mean, the focus has been a game changer for us. So we don't have to deal with all the stuff that we don't like to do in business, and we can start focusing on the cool and the fun stuff and having those positive relationships. And boy, when you can really make a difference in somebody else's life, I don't know about you, Tom, and I don't know about you, Nick, but when you get a referral, right, for maybe one of your courses, or when somebody refers a client to you because they trust you, and all of a sudden you close a deal for $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 or whatever it might be that you're doing, you kind of feel pretty good, right?
Yeah.
And I'm sure that relationship with that person that referred you is really good, and that's really what this is all about.
Heck yeah, that's awesome. And by the way, that bonus stack that you guys were able to include with what we did the other day, the training, and extend to our sharks. I mean, that thing's pretty powerful, pretty impressive. I love, there's one of the bonuses that you've given out there I absolutely love, which is the the LMA strategy you guys were talking about. Where you just drive illicit eyeballs, which is a huge point for a lot of people, to the things that they're doing online with respects to selling their local marketing services. So awesome bonus
hey,
stack.
if you're running an AGM site, it's like a marriage made in heaven, having one of those local attention engine type pages where you can send thousands of clicks of traffic through to your AGM site. It just adds value to that website and to those listings on the site when you've got an organic traffic source that you can send a ton of traffic to. It's like putting lighter fluid on it.
It really is.
Awesome.
You just actually gave me an idea, and I think we should. If Tom could just you don't need to do this, but if Tom panned his camera out to the gentleman sitting next to him, that is something that Tom, we should write this down. We should actually have Devin help us to develop some assets like that to get some attention to our AGM site.
Hey, I'm gonna put the replay link on the screen now. You cool with that?
Yeah, you guys. He'll put it on the screen. Open it up, another tab, save it. We got a little bit, probably run 5-10 minutes over, but you guys, if you have any questions for Dave and Drew while they're here with us now, maybe put them in the comments, and we'll take a couple of questions. I saw a couple of people saying that they are getting used to, like Jandy says that she's getting used to being live on camera, and me too, honestly. Still, like every day, I'm always on. I have a YouTube channel, and I still am like, I don't want to do it, right? But the cool thing about this strategy and what we're talking about here is, and Zoom is, man, a profile picture works just as well too. I mean, of course, if you're gonna get on camera, that's great, but it's not a requirement. It really isn't a requirement. Throw up a picture of yourself, get on a Zoom call. That's totally fine too. That's also the new normal. Not everybody wants to be on camera, and people are going to be fine with that, right? They're not going to get to that call and see that you have a profile picture of and be like, oh, they're not going to just leave, right? It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. And you can use that as a stepping stone to build, a little more confidence, because after that, you'll know what you can expect on that call, right? You can feel confident knowing some of the conversation that's going to happen, some of the questions that you're able to take on, and maybe objections or anything. And you'll just feel more comfortable to the point where you'll be like, hey, I know what's going to happen on this next call. I can turn the camera on, So you really you work your way up.
Yeah, this is a great question too. Somebody said, can we create a place on the front of our AGM sites for video spotlights? And absolutely, you can do that.
Great idea. I would absolutely recommend doing that.
Yeah, basically inside your AGM site, anywhere where you can put a text box, like a content box, you could add a video. But yeah, you could absolutely do that, and that's a great idea. I don't know who this is because it just says Facebook user, but that's a great idea.
True. You and I were talking earlier about we're actually running the live class, so all you guys are getting bonused for the local attention engine masterclass starting Tuesday. We were talking about where we were going to build that out, because on the live class we actually build out a new asset for ourselves and do it in front of everybody. Maybe we should do one over in Maui and give it to Tom and Nick when we're done with it. What do you think?
Let's do it.
I love it when people do work for us.
Yeah,
we're in.
Let's do it.
Hey, and we could also set you guys up with an AGM site too.
Oh, let's do it. It's a great tax write-off, and we're going to have to check in on this asset by heading over to Maui, right? We can.
Yeah, we got
to. Right.
Absolutely. For sure. It just so happens we have to check in to the Four Seasons
or the Grand.
There you go.
I like the Grand.
Or the Grand.
Nick, your video keeps freezing up on this live today.
People
said it's lagging pretty slow though.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a good delay today.
Let's take a couple. Is there a couple of questions that you see, Tom?
I know that idea of embedding was Brad's, and I saw Matthew made a great point here that I posted a second ago, that you could even create a separate page. You could embed videos. You could even make a playlist on YouTube and link to that from the AGM site. I mean, those are all great, great things. I don't see
here's one from Doug.
Question. Oh wait,
here's a good one from Doug.
Go.
So Doug says, in areas that are closed again, what about spotlight videos with local business owners and what they're doing for their customers while the doors are locked?
Awesome idea. I've noticed this. I don't know if you guys have noticed this, especially since COVID and lockdown, is local businesses who have not paid a lot of attention to digital marketing in the past, who maybe don't have a customer list, they don't have an email list, a SMS list, they are struggling and to get in front of people in the community, let them know what's going on at their business. So there's a lot of local Facebook groups here where you see the same businesses over and over and over and over and over again, posting their specials, posting their hours, letting people know that they have curbside, right? They're struggling to get in front of people in their community, their customer base. So that is a great way. Go out and approach these local businesses and give a quick interview about what's happening. How have they changed the way they're doing business? Has their hours changed? Are they doing delivery, curbside, whatever it happens to be? It's just a simple way to meet that business owner, give them something of value, which is attention. What they all truly want is more attention for their business, more eyeballs on their business, and it's just a great way to open the conversation and make a new friend in the business community. I love that.
Yeah, that's great. This is a great question from Jacqueline. How did you get your first clients? So I know, David, you said you worked for your family's business, right?
I did. First clients were, I did a lot of free work. Had some family members who had also had small businesses. So I went and just kind of did some free work, built some websites, set up some opt-in pages on websites, helped these businesses start building an email list, things like that. And you start to build momentum, right? You get referrals from them. You gain confidence, which is really important. And just little by little, that traction builds. And here's one client, here's another client. And before you know it, you've got a business built. So.
Yeah, more specifically with this strategy that you'll learn in agency list machine and local attention engine. One of the cool things that we do is results in advance, right? So part of this local business spotlight method is introducing ourselves to them and more or less giving them the attention in advance. Right. And then taking them to the next level. Right. So if you get 400, 500, 600, maybe 1,000 views on a video and go back to them and show them those results that you already have. I mean, sometimes some of these pages, they're getting 1, 2 people to engage with their content that they're doing on their page and that sort of thing. And all of a sudden, when we run very specific types of campaigns, which you'll learn all about in these programs, we're seeing results where 500, 600, 700 comments on our campaign, and all of them end up becoming email addresses, names, email addresses, cell phone numbers, because of the types of campaigns that we're running, very specifically within a local area, as Nick was talking about earlier. People know these businesses and they want to be able to do business with them. And we do it in a very, very fun way where it's very engaging. We run some very specific campaigns where all of a sudden, when you demonstrate that you can get results with these types of campaigns and you can point that attention to them, they get this. They understand right away and they say, well, nobody else is doing this for us. Our other web developer or this guy over here isn't delivering these types of results. Now they understand, if they understand their short-term value and the long-term value of their clients, if you build a list of 500 people or 1,000 people or 15 or 2,000 people, maybe 10,000 people, all of a sudden their brain starts to switch over into, how do I monetize this list? And right there, you're right there for them. You've already delivered the results in advance. Why would they not work with you? Right. So this is kind of what we have developed. It kind of fell into, we made some mistakes, and this is how we developed our first clients. And this is how we're doing it to this day. We just keep on doing this over and over and over in our local and our regional and surrounding communities as well. And this is why our agency is growing.
Yeah, that's a good point. That value in advance. The key piece of that is it really just takes the risk out of everything for your prospect, which is one of the reasons most people don't like being sold, which, you have to sell them something to get their money. And the reason they don't want to give you their money is because there's risk involved, right? The risk of not having their money, the risk of you just not doing a great job or whatever it is. But if you flip the script with what you're talking about here, Drew, that's exactly what you do. You flip the script and they don't have that risk. You take it away and they are much more likely to continue working with you or even give you the money there once it's all said and done, because you've given them the value already. They're like, yeah, I'll pay for that. I know as a business owner, I certainly feel that way. If I don't have to take the risk, and then you at the end of the day show me something that's going to be valuable to me and my company, I will pay you on the spot for that.
Yeah, it's been a game changer. It's also changed the way that we approach and do prospecting. We no longer cold call people. We don't walk in and say, "Hey, I'm Dave from Dave's Marketing. Can I talk to the owner about your marketing?" We don't do any of that anymore. It's all kind of the local asset based approach. Whether it's a group, a page, an AGM site, it's all kind of the same deal, right? It's about building local assets, harnessing local attention. When Drew and I want to go and talk to a new business that we might want to do business with, or kind of thinking about connecting with, when we do that, we do it via these assets that we own. So for example, I'll walk into the business or contact the business and say, "Hey, I'm Dave. I run my Murraysville local. We would like to feature your business and do a post on you." And it's just a big compare and contrast, comparatively to when you walk in and say, "Hey, I'm Dave from the marketing company. Can I talk to the manager about your marketing?" 9 times out of 10, what happens? They're just like, "Oh, they're not here. Leave your information," all of those things, right? When I walk in and say, "Hey, I'd like to feature your business on our media site," it's like, "Oh yeah, let me get that person for you," and then it just opens up the whole conversation. We never get rejected, and if we do, it's probably not a business that we even really want to work with. So that's how we approach businesses now. We pick and choose which businesses that we want to approach, and that's how we approach them. And we almost never ever get rejected because we can bring them and give them what they truly want, and that's more attention and more eyeballs on their business without ever asking for anything in advance.
Yeah, well, that strategy they had there, that's kind of what we do with AGM, right? I was just telling Devin the other day.
Same thing.
I was like, you look at everything that we do, like it's kind of like a stealth, right? Like even the way we name things, like Hawaii Thrive Initiative, like our whole goal is to not be the marketing person, right? Like when I remember when I was first doing the mailers, I thought, well, what would somebody selling advertising look like? What would they say? What would they do? And then I just did everything the opposite of that. And it was like a huge difference, right? And so like when that's what we're doing here, and that's what you guys are doing too, right? We can bring value, right? You guys out there watching this live stream can bring value to these business owners. But when you don't know somebody, obviously their defenses are up. So we just this is just a great soft way to get through those defenses so you can show them the value you can bring, right?
Yeah, and there's just
if you've got an AGM site, if you're doing the coupon mailers, what an amazing marriage between the programs. Yeah. It just sets you up, and it just, what else can you do that's going to positively impact my business? They're going to want exactly what you have because you already laid the groundwork. You've already got the trust. You've already led with value in advance. And, we've got awareness of some folks that are implementing the coupon cards, and they're killing it. They're putting, they've got a waiting list of people that want to jump onto that card. They just don't have enough space to do it anymore, right? Because, or they're just going to have to wait for the next month or two because they've got people lined up. They're already aware of what these guys are doing, and they're getting amazing results. So it's been a complete game changer. Before, where I used to dread knocking on a door, like nobody likes to deal with that rejection and stuff. But I got to tell you, when somebody says to me, "Hey, we would love to interview you on our podcast," my ears perk up, right? I mean, it's flattering to hear that. And, it's not every day that somebody wants to knock on your door and interview you and do a spotlight or do a featured article about you and your business. It is hands down a flattering thing to happen to you in your business. So leverage that, yield it, and just, you can really make a lot of happy people out there, and just be cool. Not everybody's going to convert into a customer and a client right away, but without question, we have received referrals as a result of just being cool to people in our neighborhood. And the other cool thing about this, and there's just so many cool things to talk about it. I know that we're running out of time, but because you're doing a spotlight on an asset that you own, it's advantageous for you because it's your content, right? It actually adds more content. If you're like wondering what kind of content that you're going to produce, you can go out and find 5, 10, 15, 20 businesses, interview them, have fun with it, and you've got content for your page and for your blog and for your AGM site and everything else. If you're worried about keeping your stuff fresh, just go out and talk to another business and interview them, right? And you can do it right here through a motive like StreamYard or Facebook Live or anything like that. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I do. Just to wrap this up, I do want to address a couple of things because somebody asked about how do you handle the walk-in thing with the current COVID environment. And William, the way we do that is we follow the rules. Right? We be very careful to follow the rules, whatever guidelines are in place in your area, whatever those are, we follow them and we be respectful of that stuff that's going on. Right. But somebody else asked, is this all about walking in? And no, it's not, because you can do everything we're talking about without ever going in person to a business, because you can send them a Zoom link. And as we were talking about, I mean, that's just standard operating procedure these days. So you don't have to walk into any businesses at all. Like you can set all this up from the comfort of your home. And I mean, it's a great training. You guys should go watch it. So you guys dropped so many things in that training, the interview, the spotlights, all that stuff, the chamber thing, like so many things that you could just watch that training and take out and start implementing in whatever it is you're doing. So I'd encourage you guys to do that. Just go to offlinesharks.com/groups-2021. If you have any questions, you can always, hit us up in the Facebook group or send a ticket into offlinesharks.com/support. Drew, Dave, man, it's been awesome having you guys on. We got to do this more often.
And
appreciate it. I usually on Friday afternoon at 3:00, I'm usually like wrapping up my day. It's 3 p.m. here in Pittsburgh in the East Coast, and I'm usually watching this time of day. So it's really cool to be hanging out and talking with you guys today. Appreciate it.
Really is a privilege, and we can't wait to have you guys on as well and over in our crew.
Yeah. Let us know when we're there anytime. Hey, I did realize that at the beginning of the show, Nick, we forgot to give one very important shout out. There was shout out that we missed. So I want to give a big shark shout out to Cameron Rote and our development team at Offline Sharks for rolling out the new website. And everything
looks great.
They've been dealing with, it's like you guys don't understand what a massive amount of work that has been and what it is. And Cameron has navigated that whole process, and the development team, Stefan, Riaz, all you guys, like just freaking awesome work. I know you're still working out they're still working out a few kinks. You always have those when something goes live. So bear with them. If you see something, let them know they're doing that. But yeah, big shout out to those guys. Thank you. It
looks amazing, you guys. You did a great job. But Tom, we got one more shout out, dude.
Oh,
we didn't do our member of the week.
Oh, member of the week. Yes.
And we got to do some Cash App, but we'll tie it in together. I got an idea.
Okay, so yeah, this is for our member of the week. Hold on, let me get this screen out of the way.
I know who it is. I already saw it, and it's.
Oh, you did? I didn't look. I have no idea who it is. So every week, right, we give out some special shark swag to our member of the week. That's the person that is the most engaged in the Facebook group. They're doing all kinds of things. So again, it will really be great because the members of the week, they bring value to the group. They spend a lot of their personal time answering questions, helping other people in the group. So when we post these members of the week, it's really great if you guys could go in, tag the post, leave a comment, tell them good job, blow up their Facebook feed so they know that all of us in the Offline Sharks community appreciate what they're doing. I'm scrolling down. All right, here we go. Our member of the week. I should have guessed this one. I should have known this. From the beginning. Our member of the week this week is Mr. Tony Edward. Congratulations.
Nice.
Congratulations, Tony.
We can make our own applause, Nick. We can make our own applause.
Oh, yeah.
So Tony,
that was a great interview.
Yeah, our team will be reaching out to you. We got some special Offline Shark swag coming your way. So thanks so much, man, for being a part of the community, for bringing the value that you do, and just being a good guy, right, in the community. We really appreciate that. So congratulations. That's our member of the week. And then Nick, we wanted to do one more.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money, money.
Dollar, dollar. Dollar, dollar. Ching, ching, bling, bling, chatter. You ain't talking money, then you're talking no matter.
I think the end part is the best. I can't turn it off. I was like, I should stop it sooner, but like, I just can't. I got to hear the whole thing.
You guys, I'm going to make it easy on everybody. We're going to pick somebody as a Cash App winner. All you have to do right now is we have to do two things. Number one, you have to congratulate and tag Tony Edwards for being an awesome member of the week, sharing his experience, his wisdom with everybody in the group. So congratulate him and tag him, and then watch the replay of the screen. We'll pick somebody at random at the bottom of the comments who actually congratulated Tony and went and checked out the replay. So we'll make the announcement. I don't know, by the end of the day today, if you are the Cash App winner for this final raffle. And it's been an awesome call, you guys. Drew, Dave, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks
guys. Really appreciate it.
Try to stay warm over there. Try to stay warm over there.
Don't rub it in, guys. Come on. Jeez.
All right, guys.
It's actually snowing out right now.
Stay safe. Aloha, everybody.
You've been listening to the Sharks Live Show, your weekly local marketing jam session. Every week, packed full of local marketing strategy, tactics, tips, and fun. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this stream. You can stay up to date throughout the week with Nick's YouTube videos at nickponte.com/YouTube and Tom's podcast at tomgaddis.com. We'll be back here next Friday for another Sharks Live Show. Until then, aloha.